Tottenham, they're in the hunt to win Europa League, but they're sitting 16th in the Premier League, and really it's all about the Premier League. So, Fozzie, the question is the backlash warranted? That's the first part of the question. Secondly, should the club itself be under the spotlight? Because this has happened before with Tottenham.
Well, that person there said, well, any coach in Tottenham's history would have been gone by now. That's actually true, and what a lot of the fan base are rightly saying is that's one reason why we haven't been successful. And therefore, at some point, the club is going to have to put its faith in someone that they believe has the tools, the capability to get them to the next level. They haven't won a trophy for 17 years. Ange has got them into the semi-final of the Europa League. We've also got Joey Montemuro with Lyon Women in the semi-final of the Champions League. So let's just acknowledge for Australian football coaching, it's an unbelievable moment. 2 semi-finals of European competitions. He's up against Bodo Glimt there, which we expect him to win. They're at home in the first leg this week as well, which is important. And so he may well win them the trophy that they've been desiring for so long. Don't forget, of course, you know, the Gunners have been winning things and, you know, Chelsea have been winning Champions Leagues and the like. So the fan base is so desperate, rightly, to win something that all the pressure's now coming on Ange. But the good thing for him is last season was excellent. His first season finished 5th. This season, that would get him into the Champions League. Unfortunately, you know, they've been in the Europa League and therefore that's put a little bit more pressure on him as well. So, look, any team, of course he knows when you lose 18 games, you're going to be under this amount of pressure. That's fair enough. But what, again, a lot of people now, a lot of Spurs fans are saying, well, hang on a minute. Antonio Conte was here not that long ago. And, you know, he's just led most of this season in Serie A and he's still sitting second, right? Jose Mourinho went. We know he can coach. And now you've got Nuno Espirito Santo, who was sacked after a season at Spurs, and now he's got Notts Forest in the top 4. Right? He's had an incredible season. So rightly, I think that's kind of what has given Ange this additional time that you wouldn't ordinarily get in one of the top 5 or 6 clubs, and that's good.
Now, Foz, we all know it's such a brutal league. You don't really get too much time in the spotlight to rebuild, especially, you know, with this much criticism that's happening. But you have mentioned that Tottenham is through to the semi-finals of the Europa League.
Exactly.
Do you think that a win could potentially save his career? Yeah,
so obviously the conversation is, you know, if he wins them the trophy that they so greatly desire, does that mean automatically he's going to stay? And you hear a lot of the media there now saying, well, it doesn't really matter. You know, the EPL is what's most important. However, what Ange is rightly saying is he should be judged on the overall quality of his work in the first 2 years. Now, they've had an incredible amount of injuries this season as well, right? Which means any other top team in the top 5 with those similar types of injuries would have also had additional struggles. And so that has also been acknowledged by the fan base and clearly by the club. That's why he's still there. So the question that they're asking is, OK, if he gets, or when he gets the players back fit, as he did last season, is his football capable now of making the top 4 or even pushing us beyond to be challenging for that title again? And he proved last season that his football is capable of doing that. Even this season, they've scored a similar number of goals to Arsenal, right, who are in clear second. But it's been the lack of balance. They've struggled defensively, and a lot of that's been around injuries in midfield and defence. So there's a lot of elements in his favour. And so, of course, we're hoping that he would do something extraordinary for Australian football coaching and be the first Australian coach to win, you know, a major European title. It's amazing.